a healthier life. This is Kara's Cures.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Kara's Cures Show. This is where we bring you cutting-edge information from credible sources. I'm Kara Sundlun, and today we're going to talk about how to reclaim your calm in moments of stress. And Lisa Barrett is a registered art therapist and a licensed professional counselor, but she's also the author of this book, and I think we have it on the screen as well. It's called How to Live an Empowered Life, Easy and Practical Daily Tools. I know, in fact, one of my co-anchors in the newsroom just said, I'm never gonna get a self-help book because I'll never read it. I'm like, this one's easy.
Yes.
It's got like bullet points and pictures. And if you don't wanna read it, we're gonna talk about it because I think we all yearn for calm, but it seems harder to get that these days.
It does. There's so much overstimulation. And we are living in a world right now that it's fast-paced. The faster you can get things done, and the less effort that you have to put into it. Right? And so people are constantly throughout their day going from boing, boing, boing to the next. It's like kind of like a ping pong. It just never stops bouncing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and they're leaving themselves depleted by the end of the day. So where is their balance? Where's the calmness? I don't think people realize that when you quote unquote try to multitask, you're actually not doing that at all in an appropriate, effective, or efficient way.
You're draining yourself more.
You're draining yourself so much.
So we're going to talk about this. I like to keep it simple, like how to plug your energy drains, how to, you know, we're all leading these busy lives. I like to say, okay, here's our daily grind, but how do we make it a sacred grind? And you know, we're not gonna change the fact that you have to take care of the kids, or you're going to your job, or you have to pay the bills.
You have to go grocery shopping.
You're gonna do those real life things. But what you're saying is the way we do them can make all the difference. We actually can create, and that's an important word, we can create and choose to have moments of calm that will restore us throughout the day.
Absolutely. And sometimes I refer to those as magic moments. So like we can tap into a magic moment all day long. You could be sitting at your desk behind a computer, right? Hopefully near a window, and all of a sudden just stop when you're starting to feel a little bit stressed and look outside.
Okay.
Just by using your senses alone. What do I see? What do I smell? What do I hear? What do I feel? Those things alone will help to ground you a little bit, even if it's just for a moment or two.
So I remember asking my therapist years ago when they were talking about this, like, well, why do we need to ground? I don't really remember the answer, but grounding is, I know much more now, but there's a topic that people are grounding. I mean, there's the grounding of the idea in the spiritual community of we're grounding into the earth. There's in the idea of just come back into your body. But we use this word grounding a lot, and I know it's really important for our mental health, but I think a lot of people get confused about what that is. What does it mean to ground ourselves?
So what I refer to as grounding is by reconnecting with your inner truth. So your truth is your heart. Your truth is your soul. Your truth is your initiation, your intuition, your creativity, your kindness, etc., etc. By building a daily base of that with 10 minutes in the morning of self-care, self-love, 10 minutes in the evening by disconnecting.
Like phone away.
Phone away. And actually, technically, it takes about 30 to 45 minutes for all the electromagnetic waves that are going on in your brain that emanate from technology to shut down. So just because you shut the button off and say close, it doesn't mean the brain can go close. The brain waves are still going, da, 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 da. It needs time to start to slow down. I always recommend, 30 to 45 minutes of a gradual disconnect.
A wind down time.
A wind down time.
And that's really important. I need that or I won't sleep.
Yes.
I used to be able to just lay down and fall asleep in 5 minutes. That doesn't happen anymore.
No.
And that's another thing. When we are not sleeping well, we're not going to have calm. So we're going to kind of take this day by day, or moment by moment, I should say. But empowerment, as you say, comes from decreasing emotional reactivity. So the same things could happen, but if we're stressed out and overstimulated, we might react very differently.
We jumped up.
they're
You know,
gonna
so
feel.
I often rate everything on a scale to 10 when I work with clients. 10 being the most, 0 not at all, 5 in the middle, and then all the variances, right? And so when we are not already in a balance grounded, coming from our core place, we can have stuff happen and we could jump up to a 10.
Quickly. Yeah.
Right. However, if we get in a daily practice of building up our core and silence, right, getting to know who we are, grounding, centering ourselves before we bring in the entire day, then when these things start to happen, we don't have to jump up so high.
We'll become less reactive.
We'll become less reactive. And here's the benefit. Even if we do have a spike that we do get up to, say, 10, we know now that we can bring it down quicker.
Yeah, so we can get back to center quickly.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people, I started a meditation practice, I don't know, probably 15 years ago, probably right after I had kids, and realized I can't just get up and like start my day. I now need to get up earlier and I need to have some moments, and I would just do these little 5-minute meditations. I mean, now I find it blissful if I can do more. I like guided ones because, I don't know, I feel like they keep my brain engaged. If I just sit in silence, I get a little bit more anxious. But whatever you like, people sometimes get freaked out about the word meditation. I'll think, well, I don't have time for meditation. So call it what you want, but sometimes you would have to make time for the only thing that matters. Like if you make that 5-10 minutes in the morning to just give yourself a little stillness, your whole day would go differently.
Absolutely, absolutely. And meditation can be a loose form of interpretation. Really, it means mindfulness. End of story. So anything that brings you back to mindfulness within yourself.
Taking a walk in nature.
Taking a walk in nature. I love my coffee. So sitting outside in the morning and really enjoying the coffee, right? Looking around, just being there, maybe 10 minutes of spiritual reading. Anything, right? Doing something creative, whatever the case may be. It's just mindfulness that soothes the soul.
So it's your mind actually focusing on what you're doing, where so often our mind is racing to 10,000 things, and we might be doing 1 or 2 of them, but when our mind is going elsewhere and we're doing different things, that's when we're getting depleted.
Yes. So I often do the timeline of past, present, and future. Our power is always the present. Always the present. The past is already over. And that's a great thing that I love to teach in my book and with my clients. It's like something happens, right? Some people could choose to go on and on about it and carry the energy.
Yes.
However, a really helpful tool is that's already in the past. And then it gets the brain thinking, yeah, that's already in the past. Should I let that go? Like, is it really that important? And where do I want to focus my energy now? Because it's always, always within your choice to shift your energy where you want it to go.
Yes. So I like to think of it, maybe because I do this, I have the analogy of a remote control. Like, if I can catch myself and be like, all right, can I switch my channel?
Yeah.
And that's really what we're doing. But you say when we're actually, like, here's a tip I learned from Great Day, Connecticut with you, that if we even count backwards, from 5. I used to think 10. And when you're really stressed, even counting to 10 can seem like a lot. But if you just take a moment and remember to count backwards from 5, that's a simple shifter.
Yes. Counting backwards from 5 and then giving yourself an action step. So I used to do this many moons ago. I worked at a short-term psychiatric hospital, and I had to run groups of kids that were all over the place, that didn't know each other, and they're coming and going every 5 or 10 days, and a lot of psychiatric illnesses. And so you try to run a group, and get them to pay attention, right? And so what I would do is I would try it first to get them to pay attention. Of course, it didn't work at all. And so then I would just stand up there and I'd just go 5, 4. And one at a time, I could look around the room. I wish I could have filmed it, but obviously I could not. You could see the faces from tension and angst and all kinds of things going on with them. One at a time, they just all relaxed their face, they relaxed their body, and their eyes were like, counting, counting, what is that? And they all just, one at a time, fell completely silent.
So counting backwards,
Is
which I know
really
they do that
powerful.
in hypnosis. And we even did it on the show earlier with Renee Danino, and we just sat 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I challenge you to do that at home. I'm in a calm state right now, but you already, just by focusing on the numbers, something happens. So explain that again, the reason why it works?
So it shifts you into the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal
Up
cortex,
here?
right up here, the big section of your head up there, right, has absolutely no ability to have motions. Your amygdala and your basal ganglia do, and they're very tiny. I often joke, it's like, if we could only use our brain in proportion.
Because the amygdala, that's like our reptilian brain. That's like the fight or flight in the back of our head.
Yeah, yep.
And so if we're getting run by that, that's like get hijacked by your amygdala. But like if you're counting, what you're saying is we can't be in that emotional reactivity part of our brain.
And here's another great part of the prefrontal cortex. It's facts, figures, logic, science, math, organization. So if you can...
This is why teenage boys have none of that. Because they say they don't get a prefrontal cortex till they're like 25. Okay? So when your teenager's going off the handle and they say, just be calm, their brain isn't formed yet, that's the real thing. Like the part that actually controls all the other logic is not there online yet.
So one of the things I like to teach too is say factual statements.
Okay.
Like I just shared. Oh, it's already in the past. Oh, isn't it interesting that that happened? I love saying
if
that.
you're fighting with someone. Like, let's say you're arguing with your spouse, and they're like, okay, whatever, just drop it. It's already in the past. You're like, but it just happened. Like, and it could be something silly, like, you know, that really upsets you if you're someone like me and, like, clutter sets you off. And they're like, why did you not put that away? And like, okay, fine, I'll put it away. Now don't bring it up anymore. And I might have the inclination to be like, but why can't you just put something away every time? And if you just do this and da-da-da, whatever. So we can beat a dead horse. And I'm making fun of myself because I guess at that point, it's not very satisfying, but somebody's already moved on.
Right, exactly.
And so you shouldn't beat the dead horse.
Exactly. And so obviously when I work with kids and parents, right, and when they're at their house, they usually tend to explode more than they do in school.
Yes. Why is that? Because they feel safe?
Thank you. Yes,
okay.
It is a safe place. Mom loves them, or dad loves them, or they, you know, they both love them, depending if it's a single parent home or, you know, dual parent home. So they know they're not going to get kicked out. They know they're not going to be disowned or anything like that. And they can just be themselves. Whereas school, they have to hold it together all day long.
And that's often why I've noticed with my kids, they need that downtime right after school. Like they can be a little more explosive when they first come home. Is that because they've been holding stuff in all day?
They've been holding stuff in all day, and it's so much stimulation for these kids these days. So I always encourage that they have a 10 or 15 minute transition time when they get home.
Yes. I think we need that too.
I was just going to say, as parents, we need that too.
Like, give me my time. I'll talk to you in 10 minutes.
When I'm done of my, 12-hour day, 14-hour day, it's like, don't talk to me.
Yes.
I'm not picking the phone up. I'm glad you called me. I'll call you tomorrow. I need my downtime because I've had a full day.
Yeah. And yet you can tell yourself, I'm going to keep going. But it can only go so far. So if you're not giving that self-care of, I need a buffer zone. So one thing we can do to move into what you call the neutral zone, and there's a lot of great, practical tips. Again, the book is called How to Live an Empowered Life, Easy and Practical Daily Tools by Lisa Barrett, local counselor right here in Connecticut. You can find her website, touchedbyart.net. I wanted to shout out you, if someone needs help, you actually do see patients, and people can make appointments with you.
Absolutely, as young as 5, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But the neutral zone is a brain-based approach that we all can access.
Yeah. And so I coined that phrase when I started sharing more and more about the prefrontal cortex. Because, again, it has no emotion. So isn't it neutral? It's balanced. It doesn't go up. It doesn't go down. It's this really beautiful place where the calm clarity is found.
Okay, and that's really, that's your practice. It's a calm clarity.
Calm clarity.
So we all want that. We want calm and clarity.
Yeah.
And even if we know how to do this, it doesn't mean we're going to feel that way all the time.
No, and often people go from one extreme to the next, right? When they're having struggles or anxiety or depression or anxiety, they just want to be happy. And it's like you can't jump on the 20th rung from the bottom on a ladder leaning against a building.
Just try to move up or down the emotional scale.
We just want to get calm, because in calm, there's contentment. In contentment, there's joy.
Okay.
And there's more consistency. Or else we have these highs and these lows and these highs and these lows. We don't
we
want
need
that.
the neutral.
We need the neutral zone. We just want to maintain this beautiful state of clarity and calmness. And that's how we solve all of our problems anyway.
So let's say you're in the middle of a problem. You're at work, and you're just, you just heard something really bad, or finances trigger people. Maybe they just got bad news that a big bill, the air conditioner just broke, or their car just broke down, or something. And they're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay for that? Oh my gosh. And then, something happened at work. They need something done right away. And then the kid is calling and they need them. And you're just feeling overwhelmed and like everything's going wrong. What's the first step to do so that you don't react in a bad way and so that you problem solve better?
Yeah. So one of the first things is just to acknowledge the emotion that you're feeling right away.
Okay.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed, just be
I'm
like,
overwhelmed.
I'm overwhelmed. And actually stating it instead of just letting it run rampant in the brain is the best.
Out loud?
Out loud. Because now you've sort of taken the first steps to empowerment. I'm saying to myself, I'm owning this emotion.
I'm naming it to tame it, is what they say, right?
Yeah, instead of the emotion taking you over, which is the ego, which is edge goodness out.
Yeah.
Instead of the ego taking over and being, I'm in control of you, let's just stay stressed all the time. Let's just keep producing lots of cortisol. Let's be on high anxiety. Let's just keep getting more of what you don't want.
Yes.
So instead, it's like, just state what you feel. Just
I'm
say,
overwhelmed. Okay, so that's step one. I'm overwhelmed.
Yep, I'm
We're going to name
overwhelmed.
it. And now what?
So now that I know that I'm overwhelmed, let's start putting in softer language that you'll find more in the neutral zone. Can I solve this right now? You can challenge your brain. You can challenge that ego part. And when you ask it questions that put it into the prefrontal cortex, things start to calm down automatically. Your central nervous system will start to calm down automatically. So you can easily say, it's like, okay, I have this problem, this problem, this problem. I'm overwhelmed. What can I do about it right now? So you're presenting a question. At the moment, if you can't solve number one, is there something you can do for number two? Is there something you can do for number three or number four? And then just regroup for a moment saying, isn't this interesting, neutral zone, that all this came up? Now start to be your own cheerleader. I know that I'm going to be okay. I know there is a solution. And the only way I know how to get to the solution is I can't solve a problem in a scattered mind. So I know that I'm going to have to take some steps back and calm down, and the answers will come. So for the moment, what do I really need to attend to? And do I need help with this? Who can I call? Who can I talk to?
Because so many times we want to do it all by ourselves, or we play the martyr and someone's, can I help you? And you're like, no, nothing, there's nothing you can do, or whatever.
Right.
But what we have to, so if you take a moment, name it, maybe count backwards. And the reason you're counting backwards, that you're using your senses, even if you can remember that, what I see, what I taste,
Right.
that puts you in your body.
Yes, it does.
And then you have more options.
And you have more options. Take a sip of water. Go outside for a minute. Literally, if you can, get out of the same room that it happened. Why? It's a new environment.
Okay. Because your body starts to calm down when you're not in that energy. I guess we sort of understand if we were in the middle of, you walk in when someone's having an argument and you feel like this.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
If you could just take a break. So even if you're arguing with a loved one or a family, and you know that's not going to end well, maybe, families fight, the idea of just shifting your location, of saying, I'm going to come back when I'm more calm.
Yeah.
And that'd be a great way to model for our kids, too. Of
Right.
like, I hear you.
I see
I'm
that
gonna
you're
give
upset.
you some time.
I see that you're upset. So you acknowledge the other
Saying to
person.
calm down does not work.
No. If anything, you acknowledge, I see you. I hear that you're upset. I would love to know more about this later. Can we talk about it a little later? I'm going to take a little bit of space. Now,
Can we talk about it later when you're more calm, or is that not good?
you can say that, but it's better to stick with yourself.
Okay.
It's always better to stick with yourself.
All right, so if you're getting in a heated discussion, I hear that you're really frustrated.
Yep.
I also hear that I'm not
Yep.
on the same page. Let's take a break.
Yep. Yep.
We're going to come back when we're feeling a little cooler.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly.
So doing that, and people get, oh, I don't have time. I don't have time. I have to leave right now. I have to rush out the door. I have to this, I have to that. What's your answer to when people constantly feel like they have a lack of time?
So I think a lot of that is self-imposed because isn't time in itself, that's a human constraint, isn't it? So
you might really have to go to work right then, and you'll say, okay, I'm going to talk about this after.
Right.
Like, I guess because we always want to just fix it right then.
Right. And again, the ego always thinks it can do more than what it really can.
Okay.
So we think you can make a list. I'm going to get these 20 things done. In reality, you're not going to get those 20 things done. But the ego is saying, yeah, but I really want to get all this done.
Yeah.
And so I believe it's not about how much can you do and how fast. It's more about what can you do that you give your fullest amount of presentness to, and what can you take off your plate. There isn't a day that goes by that I have a small list, right? I prioritize what I can, and depending on how each of the days go and how the list goes, I never complete it all. And that's okay. I'm okay with that because I always know the next day I can do that as the priority that next day. And
you might star the things you absolutely have to get done, but a lot of times it's a brain dump and you're not going to get all that done.
Yeah, and a lot of people, it's like, oh, well, let me get one last thing in. Let me just go to the grocery. I'm deadbeat tired. I'm exhausted. I had a foot, but let me go to the grocery store.
Yeah. Something else, which I'm sure there's a therapeutic framework for this, but something else I learned there's a practice called mindfulness-based self-compassion. And I remember they taught in the classes, which I had done some reporting on it, that just taking that moment, put your hand on their heart and say, what do I need right now?
Connect yourself.
And so when we say, what do I need right now, I find I always get an answer. And a lot of times it's stillness. So it's not intuitive, but like, I guess if we slow down and ask yourself, what do I need right now? You're usually going to get an answer, and it's probably not what you're trying to do.
Exactly. And it's so funny because when you get connected with who you are, the truth, your intuition, it doesn't have to yell. You just have to be quiet enough to listen to it.
That inner voice is always talking to us. We have to get quiet enough to listen.
Always talking to us.
And it's never wrong.
It's never wrong. You could be driving down the route that you still always go, and then all of a sudden you're at that intersection, left or right. You normally go right, and all of a sudden something inside has said, no, you need to go left. Most people will not listen to that.
I have a good friend who is, among other things, she's a nurse and she's worked in some of the best hospitals, but she's a spiritual intuitive. And she's always been in the healing field and done a lot of energy healing, but she taught me years ago, and I love that this is in your book, that there is only love or fear. So you're either coming from love or you're coming from fear.
Yes.
And so even taking a moment to ask yourself, to put it in, like she would say, just put it in the love or feel pile, even just looking at it, like, I'm gonna put that in the fear pile. Like that action of stopping and asking yourself if it's love or fear can shift you?
Absolutely. And you were talking about in the heat of the moment with having an argument with somebody. A lot of people, they just want to keep going back and forth. So I explain this a lot, is that you're already on fire, both of you a little bit on fire, right? Then one person starts burning even higher, then the next one meets it, then the next one. You just keep going up the ladder. Both of you are putting wood on the fire that keeps it burning. The only way that it's going to stop is to stop putting wood on the fire. So that means, can you just allow somebody to be in the place that they are without trying to enforce your opinion over their opinion, your right versus their wrong? That's all fear. I have to be heard. I have to be heard now. I know I'm right. You need to know that I'm right.
Right. We all want to be right, right? So that's at least when you're in your ego. But then if we come back, so I just want to, this is, so there's a chapter here, and I want to show people, like, well, this page actually doesn't have pictures, but there are plenty of pictures. There's easy graphs. Like, this is pretty practical, the idea that you could just open to a page. But you talk about there's only two emotions, fear or love, and that, how to move through an emotion. Acknowledge it out loud. I'm feeling angry, agitated. When you state it out loud, you automatically have told your ego you're taking over. Which means you've empowered yourself. Try to get to a calmer, clear state by using some tools, which are listed here. Take an action step, decide what you want to do. So it's pretty basic. I mean, this sounds so simple, but the problem is we don't do this stuff.
And the reason why I made that book small, it's only a 6x9, there's only 66 pages, is because I've read self-help books my whole life. I love them. You know, all the,
me too, but
all
other
the
people
big
don't,
names.
and then you get lost,
Right. And then when something comes up, like you said, like in the moment, it's like, are you really going to get a big book of
And try to
300
find
pages
things.
and try to find what I highlighted for that particular thing?
Yeah.
So I made this as sort of like a grab and go. So you can have it anywhere. You can put it in your briefcase, whatever, your car. And anytime something comes up, if you need a little extra help, it's literally right there.
Yeah, okay. So there's another thing, there's a picture of a rung, right? And how we move up and down that ladder, so to speak, of love, all the way down to the bottom of the depths, which probably is fear, but gratitude. Gratitude is your remote control. You can shift, and people will say, well, everything's awful right now. I just found out I lost my job, or I found out this, or even something smaller like, you know, I just found out some really bad news. It doesn't mean you're grateful for that news, but how do you use gratitude to shift to that neutral state?
So gratitude is the most beautiful energy, the highest one next to sheer love, because that's underneath love, right? And that energy you can tap into every single night before you go to bed. So literally just listing out loud 1 to 3 things that you're grateful for, even despite having something horrific happen in your life. It can be as simple as, I saw a beautiful butterfly. Thank you for the butterfly.
I'm laying here on a pillow that's really comfortable.
Thank you for the
I'm
good
finally in my
weather.
bed.
Right. Thank you that lady smiled at me today.
Yeah.
I needed that smile. Thank you for that kind word. Thank you for that song that I heard. It could literally be the smallest of things, but that's what you want to dig for. You want that to be part of your daily practice.
Yeah. And in our final 2 minutes together, and this has gone quickly, failure. The word failure is such a bad rap. We'll never get to be great at everything if we try and learn in life. The fail is a fact. To be human, it's the only way we will actually grow. So you say we need to make friends with failure. So often we're getting very specific about the goals and dreams we want to make happen. And now everybody's into manifestation. Oh, how come it didn't work out the way I wanted? And so I think people kind of get that messed up. We are co-creators of our life, but it doesn't always mean you get exactly what you want. And that expecting that failure or something turning out different than you expected is actually a gift and is part of the process.
Yeah, and so a softer language, I always try to use that a lot. How can we soften it? That's part of the neutral zone. What is softer language? And what you can say, is it really failure, or what have I learned? What was a great lesson here for me? Because nobody grows without learning new things, and nobody is great at every new thing they learn. So obviously we're going to suck at some things, right? And you could call that failure, right? Oh, I'm going to learn how to swim, and then you go out there and you don't know how to swim, you know, just making things up. But is it really failure? Whereas, oh, I'm really proud of myself that I tried that. I find that's not for me, but that's okay.
Yeah,
And
I went to that and I did it. That was a good thing. So in our final 30 seconds, I just want to show everyone the book one more time. It's we're talking about reclaiming your calm, and this book is available on Amazon. It's easy to read, How to Live an Empowered Life, touchedbyart.net. And Lisa Barrett, you're right here in Connecticut.
I am.
And if you want more Lisa Barrett wisdom, people can come see you and even make appointments. Thank you, Lisa.
It's been my honor. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. We're grateful that you're here. Thank you for tuning in to Kara's Cures. Coming up next on the stream, we've got Eyewitness News Extra with Brian Shackman. Have a great day, everyone, and be well.